guys, welcome back to the Homespun Amy channel. So in this video I'm going to share with you a couple of one-pan meal recipes, and this first one is bacon and peas with mushrooms and onions. And so you're going to start with the bacon, and I like to keep a pound of bacon frozen in the freezer, specifically for using in recipes where I just need it for flavoring, where I'm not going to need a whole pound of it for the entire dish. And so here you can see it takes a little bit of elbow grease to cut the bacon when it's frozen, but I cut it, I think you'd call that horizontally, because this just makes it so that it's in perfect little pieces already. And so I probably did, I want to say maybe a 1/4 pound of the bacon, and I just cut that off, and I'm going to heat up my cast iron skillet. You can use any skillet of your choice, but for this I used my 10-inch cast iron skillet. And you just get the bacon in there, just throw it in frozen, and it'll just thaw out as it's cooking. And you kind of have to start to break it up with the spoon, but get that going. And then while that's cooking, you're going to use half an onion. Here I had a really big onion, so I had to cut it in half, but you can use one small onion or half of a large onion, and you're just going to dice this up really small. And then you're also going to use mushrooms, and you can use any mushrooms that you'd like. You don't have to use the cremini or the white button mushrooms from the store. If you want to use, if you want to experiment, feel free. I'm actually thinking when I do some spring mushroom hunting, when I find morels, I think morels would taste really good in this. But anyway, you really can use whatever mushroom you would prefer. And here I'm using the cremini mushrooms, and I think in this time I used 6 of them, which came out to, I want to say, about a cup of mushrooms after I chopped them. It was actually probably a little bit more than that, just because I tend to be heavy-handed when I'm adding mushrooms to a recipe, because I absolutely love mushrooms. So you can play around with it. You can add less, you can add more. If you absolutely hate mushrooms, you can definitely leave them out. You don't have to have them in this recipe. What I really liked is because it kind of added a little bit of heartiness to this dish, so you could actually kind of eat it for lunch on its own, which I did. After I made this video, I had a little bowl of this for my lunch. So anyway, really good, easy, quick lunch, but also a really great side dish as well. So here I am finishing up the bacon, and the bacon I used, for some reason the fat wasn't coming off very well, or rendering, I guess I should say. And so I did end up adding a tablespoon of avocado oil to the pan, just to kind of help it along a little bit. And yeah, this is really good bacon. It's uncured and there's no sugar added. Really good quality. We get it from Costco. But once the bacon is cooked to your desired crispiness, then you're going to take it out of the pan and add in the mushrooms and the onions and get those sauteing. And for me, I didn't have to drain off any of the fat. If there is a huge excess of fat, depending on the bacon that you use, you might want to drain it off. I would say you probably don't want more than 2 tablespoons in the pan, just because you don't want the mushrooms just to soak up the oil. So anyways, I got those sauteing and caramelizing. I love caramelized onions, so I really wanted the onions to caramelize a little bit. And this probably took, I want to say about 10 minutes, maybe 10 to 12 minutes for the mushrooms and the onions to cook down to where I really like them. And then once these were cooked to where I liked them, then I added in 1 tablespoon of butter, and this really was for the peas, because I think butter and peas go really well together. And this is a 2-pound bag of peas, frozen peas, and I added half of it. So I added 16 ounces of peas. And yes, you can throw them in frozen. That's totally fine. It actually makes the recipe even easier, but you can do that. And they thaw out and cook beautifully in the pan, even when they're frozen. And I did add a little bit of salt and some pepper to taste, just to make sure that everything was nicely seasoned. And then once this was done and the peas were cooked, I then took the bacon that I had pulled out of the pan and sprinkled that on top. And there you have bacon and peas with mushrooms and onions. And this, like I said, this makes a really nice lunch or a really nice side dish for dinner. So this next sheet pan meal didn't turn out exactly the way that I was expecting, and I was kind of debating on whether or not to show it, but hey, let's keep it real. And this bag of sheet pan veggies was very disappointing. It did not look like the picture on the front of the bag. On the front of the bag, it had these, big chunks of red onion and sweet potato and zucchini and broccoli. And when I opened the bag, it was mainly broccoli. And it had a few little cubes of sweet potato and a few little Brussels sprouts. But I will definitely not be buying that bag of veggies again. I got it from Costco. But anyway, I had to use it up because I had it. So I threw the veggies, mainly broccoli, frozen, into a 12-inch cast iron skillet. And then on top of that, I put some bratwurst, and these are just bratwurst from Costco, and I threw that into an oven. It was about 400 degrees, preheated to 400 degrees, and baked it or roasted it for about 30 minutes. Then I pulled it out and I turned the bratwurst over just to make sure they got browned on the other side and cooked all the way through. Put it back in the oven for about 15 minutes. And then it was done, and that's what we had for dinner. And it was fine. It was broccoli and bratwurst, mainly, with a couple bites of sweet potato. And yeah, so anyways, I wanted to share it, even though it wasn't quite what I was expecting. I just thought maybe this will give you some ideas of what you might be able to do for a simple dinner. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Share with someone else you think would enjoy it, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.